Hey, what's going on, guys? Hope everybody is doing well, enjoying your this weekend right now for me. Um, and but I hope you're enjoying your day. Some time ago I did a clip and I was talking about the left-hand path, and it was a quick blurb. And I said I was going to come back at a later time and kind of talk about the left-hand path, right? So when we're talking about the left-hand path, one thing we have to realize is that the concept of the left-hand path, it holds a deep esoteric significance across various spiritual and philosophical platforms. It is often contrasted with the right-hand path, and while the latter is associated with conformity, collectivism, and alignment with established moral codes, the left-hand path represents individualism, self-exploration, and personal empowerment. And so here is I'm gonna what I'm gonna do is just give you just a few points, about 6 or 7 points about the left-hand path that is going to enlighten you. And remember, I want you to always remember to do your own research, right? Study the left-hand path, understand the left-hand path. Um, one of the things that sometimes we tend to, what society has done or what the Western world has done, is it has demonized the left-hand path, right? The Western world has demonized the left-hand path and made the right-hand path the right way, right? But what we fail to realize is that we have both paths that are down on the inside of us, and it's all about bringing balance. And once you learn how to work the left-hand path, you can bring balance to yourself, balance to your power, balance to your understanding, balance to your character. It's all about balancing things out, right? You don't want to be too top heavy because there are times when the left hand path is needed, right? So when it comes to the left hand path, the first thing we have to understand is that it comes down to individual sovereignty, right? Individual sovereignty. So the left hand path emphasizes personal freedom and autonomy. It's often uh, challenged by society because it kind of goes against the grain, goes against the norm. Society sees it as dogma and an external authority in favor of self-determination, right? So you may hear from time to time a lot of practitioners seek to define their own moral and spiritual codes rather than adhering to uh, preordained systems, and that's very important because right now in this time that we're living in, we really have to begin to tap into self. We have to begin to tap into inner power, begin to tap in and really know who we really are, why we're here, and how we can make strong impact in this world. We run around and we try to tag on or to jump into different systems when many times those systems don't really align with who you are. You're not vibrating at that same in that same place as the systems that we find ourselves tagging along to. We've been trained and brainwashed by the Western world to jump into a system, jump into a religion, jump into that. When all along the true religion is down within you. You have your own religion that resides down on the inside of you, and that's literally one of the things the left hand path deals with. It's about tapping down within, tapping down within. The ancients used to say, "Know thyself and know God," right? So that still stands today. You have to learn to know yourself, and you have to deviate from what the systems of this world tell you to do, and really begin to look deep within and stop looking for affirmation from systems who have a different blueprint than you do, right? I'm not against other systems because everybody's in different places, right? But you don't want to cloak yourself with something, and that's really not who you are. Because you'll wake up one day further down the road, like I did myself, further down the road, like years upon years later, and find out that there's another blueprint down on the inside of me that I gotta work. And once I found out that that blueprint was on the inside of me, I began to tap in, I began to seek it out, and I still seek it out for greater understanding, for being able to put it to use in this world so that I can make an impact in the lives of people. Because there are people who are out here today that are looking for you. You have what they need. Sometimes it's just one word. Sometimes it's just one deed. Whatever it is. But they will never find you because you're not operating in your set blueprint, right? The second thing, when it comes to the left hand path, we have to understand shadow integration. All right. So esoterically, the left hand path involves facing and integrating the shadow self, the suppressed or the hidden aspects of your psyche. Now that's serious. The suppressed and the hidden aspects of your psyche. A lot of times I think you think about when I think about this, I think about how when you're younger and you're growing up, um, when you, for example, let's say you go to a new school, right? You go to a new school, you're new to the school, everybody else has been there, and now you're coming in and you're trying to figure out where you can fit in, right? You want to be yourself, but you're still kind of hesitant because you don't know exactly where you're gonna. Am I gonna be accepted? Am I gonna be rejected? Am I gonna be neglected further down the line because I'm not like everybody else, right? And even as adults, we find ourselves doing that, right? I remember having a conversation with somebody. I was like, you know what? I realized that when we leave home every morning to go to work or to go out to do what we're gonna do, most of us we put on another cloak, right? We put on another mask. We operate totally different. We talk different. We're not really being ourselves. We're putting on this cloak. It's a facade and the reason is because we want to make sure that we fit in. And the world has trained us that way, right? This westernized world trains you in such a way that, listen, you're either going to fit in with the system or you're going to get rejected. You're going to get neglected. You're going to get booted out. You're going to get shunned off. You're going to get set outside the circle. You're going to get made fun of. You're not going to be able to prosper because you're not like us. Oh boy, because you're not like us, you're not gonna prosper. You're not gonna be able to thrive in this environment. And we put on a whole new mask, right? And we do it so much so that it's like it's become the norm, right? And a lot of us, we don't even now today as adults, a lot of adults, right? Much less children. Adults, we don't even know who we really are. We don't know why we're here. We don't know. We don't even know what we like. We don't even know what our favorite color really is because we adapt to what makes other people happy. We've been trained that way. We've been colonized like that. We've been put in little colonies. And you don't want to be in a place where, you're not able to connect with a colony, right? That's how the Western world has developed us. But when you're operating in the left-hand path, you have to strip the mask off, expose yourself to yourself, and find out who you really are. That's what it means to deal with the shadow self, right? You have to acknowledge the shadow, right? You have to get into self-awareness and transformation. It's so important. The third thing is self uh, defecation, right? So a key tenet in many left-hand path traditions is the pursuit of self-defecation, where the practitioner, right, seeks to embody divinity or ultimate power with themselves rather than relying on an external deity. This approach aligns with the concept of becoming a co-creator of one's own reality, right? You have to learn to accept that. It goes back to just like I said a few minutes ago, that you have to stop looking for external affirmation and get affirmation from on the inside of you, right? Knowing what that blueprint is. Get the affirmation from the blueprint that's down on the inside of you, because that's where you're going to find your real peace. That's where you're going to find your real comfort. Right now listen to me. This is the real left-hand path, guys. This is what the left-hand path is really all about. So, the fourth thing I want to talk about is the symbolism of the left hand, right? So, in esotericism, the left hand is often associated with the subconscious. It's associated with the intuition and somewhat of the mystical. It represents the path that is less traveled, one that involves an inner journey of self-discovery. We can't get away from that. This left-hand path deals a lot with the self-discovery. Left-hand path is not nothing evil, but it's about tapping into self. Tapping into self. And we have to learn how to tap into self. We have to be intentional about it. We can't just go on about our everyday, just lollygagging, just, moving around. No, we have to be intentional about finding out who I really am. We have to spend time in meditation. We have to hone in. We have to center our energy. We got to climb through our 7 chakras, right? We have to climb through those 7 chakras. Some say it's 9 chakras because there's an energy that's right above the head and there's an energy that's right below the feet. And I'll talk about the 9 chakras on another video, but I just want to make sure that we understand this left-hand path, right? So one of the other things that the left-hand path does is deals with the liberation from the duality. Now this is amazing, right? Somebody just set the alarm off outside, but it's being liberated from the duality. So duality says that there's me, and then there's the Most High outside of me. There's God outside of me. There's God out there, and then there's me, right? And me, I fall short. God is perfect, right? That's the mindset of the duality. We separate ourselves from God, right? It amazes me because I grew up in a Christian background. I was even a licensed minister, traveled, preaching and teaching in many churches all around, until one day the light bulb went off, right? The light bulb, it was just my time to evolve. It was my time to come up out of systems, right? And I had to evolve. And a lot of people didn't understand that, and it's okay. I still love all of them. I still will do anything I can for them. But that you have to, when you're traveling down this left-hand path, you have to accept the reality. You have to swallow yourself, swallow who you are, right? And really tap in and know who you are down on the inside of you. Know that blueprint, right? You have to get liberated from that duality and understand that I am God and God is me. God dwells on the inside of me, and my only attachment to this world is through my conscious mind. I'm allowed to consciously behold and allow God to experience the world through me. God is having an experience as myself, and I'm having an experience watching, right? So we have to understand that it's so important to be liberated from that duality, where there's me and there's God. No, we have to come back and say there's one. This is why in the Bible, those of you who are avid Bible readers, Jesus says that I and the Father are one. All throughout the scripture, he's trying to tell you that, listen, the Christ is a position. It's not a person. The Christ is a position. The Christ is a position in you, is your higher self, right? And so when you begin to rise up into your Christhood, that Christ position, you begin to understand that you and God are one. You're not separate. There's no duality here. We're one, right? This is why the Bible even says, listen, God says, I'll never leave you nor forsake you, because he can't, because he's you and you're him. He's having an experience, and you're being allowed to have an experience, and you're being allowed to watch, right? So we have to learn to understand this, that the duality, if you continue to operate in duality, you're only gonna get but so far. You're only gonna get but so far, and you're always gonna find yourself looking for approval from outside forces, not just from who you deem as God, but also from other people. From other people, you're gonna constantly be trying to get affirmation and confirmation from other people, and not understanding who you really are, right? The sixth thing, right? That was number 5, the liberation and duality. The sixth thing is the rebellion and the transcendence. So the left-hand path is inherently rebellious. It is rebellious. It's often associated with archetypes like Prometheus, the devil, Lucifer, Set, who all defy external control to seek enlightenment or freedom, right? And that has to become you. You have to go against the grain. You have to buck the system, right? The systems of this world desire to keep you trapped, to keep you locked in the matrix. But you have to take on a rebellious mentality against the system. Rebel against the system and tap into self and be okay with it. You got to be okay with it. And because that is when you're really going to find your true peace, right? And so the seventh and final thing I want to say is this: that the left-hand path is a misunderstood path, right? Some of you who are listening to me right now, your perception of the left-hand path at one time was that it's demonic. It's the demonized view, right? And you don't want to work that left-hand path. You want to stay on the right path, right? You don't want to work the left-hand path, but you need the left-hand path in order to reject the systems of this world that try to keep you encapsulated, they kind of try to keep you trapped and locked down. You never really be able to make the true impact. You never be able to make the impact you've been sent to make. You've been sent into this earth to make an impact, to make a difference, to be one who causes uh, 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 the higher planes to manifest in the lower planes. So we have to understand that. And listen, I hope that this left hand path breakdown kind of is helping somebody or helped you. If so, please drop your comments down in the down below. If it didn't help you, still, hey, drop your comments down below. If you disagree, drop your comments down below. But either way, listen, we all are one. We all are working together, and we're all looking to climb up and rise up into our higher self and be, do, and have everything that we've been mandated here while we're in this earthly plane, operating in this third dimension. Because we only have a set time to be in this third dimension, and then we got to move on. And when you move on, you got to be ready. You got to be ready, or guess what? You find yourself having to come right back to third dimension and do it all again. And I was telling somebody the other day, um, for most of the people that's in the earth today, it's not our first rodeo. This is not our first rodeo. And you know, while we're here right now, while we're consciously aware, this is a fantastic time to be alive. A fantastic time to even be in the third dimension. Excuse me, because there's a strong vibration of awareness that has been released in the universe, right? Strong vibration of awareness so that we can become aware of who we are and why we've been sent here. So listen, till next time, listen, hope you all tap in, share, like, follow the page, and hey, there's more to come. Till next time, Unk Uja Seneb, which means life, prosperity, and good health be unto you. Peace.